All right, let's just jump right into it. You've got this one pretty high profile statement dismissing an entire country's economy. And then, on the other hand, you have the world's biggest tech companies pouring in literally tens of billions of dollars. So, what is really going on here? That's the huge contradiction we're going to unpack in this explainer. So, here's that statement. It came from former US President Donald Trump. And look, it's a pretty stark declaration, right? It paints this picture of total economic stagnation. But as it turns out, on the ground, in the boardrooms of global tech, a completely different story was being written at the exact same time. And this is that other story, told in just one single number: $67 billion. That is the insane amount of money that America's absolute top tech giants, we're talking Google, Microsoft, and Amazon, have all pledged to invest in India. And they announced it all within just a few months. So let's really break down this $67 billion. Because what makes this so incredible isn't just the amount, which is, huge, but the sheer speed and the timing of it all. I mean, just look at how fast this all happened. In October, Google gets the ball rolling. Then you fast forward to December, and in the span of just 2 days, bang, bang, Microsoft and Amazon jump in with their own massive commitments. This isn't some slow trickle of cash. This is the floodgates swinging wide open. Okay, so first up, Google. They're dropping $15 billion to fuel India's big push into AI and to seriously build out its cloud capacity. They're not just talking either. They're planning to build their largest AI hub outside of the US, right there in India. Next up, Microsoft. They're committing $17.5 billion. And just to put that into perspective for you, this is Microsoft's biggest single investment in Asia ever. And the focus, you guessed it, AI and all the cloud infrastructure you need to make it run. And finally, Amazon comes in with the biggest number of them all, a truly staggering $35 billion, pledged all the way through 2030. Now, this covers the whole shebang for them: their e-commerce business, their cloud computing arm AWS, and all of it is going to be supercharged by AI. So you add it all up, and there it is, that $67 billion bet on India's future. So the big question is, why? What is driving this tidal wave of cash? Well, the answer really boils down to two main forces. The first one, and probably the most straightforward, is just the incredible business opportunity. The scale here is just mind-boggling. We're talking about a market with over 1 billion internet users. You've got people adopting AI faster than anywhere else on the planet. There's this incredibly deep talent pool of English-speaking engineers and a digital economy that is just exploding. But, the opportunity goes even deeper than just the size of the market. This quote, "This one really gets to the heart of the strategic play here. For these tech giants, India isn't just another place to sell their stuff, it's a place to actually build it, to test it, and to perfect it." And here's why that's such a genius move. The country's incredible diversity. We're talking 1.4 billion people, hundreds of languages, countless cultures. It makes it the ultimate stress test for any AI model. The thinking is this: if you can get your AI to work seamlessly in a place as complex as India, well, you can probably make it work just about anywhere in the world. Okay, so that was the opportunity. Now let's talk about the second major force pushing all this forward: geopolitics. The global tech map is being redrawn right now, and these investments, they are a massive signal of a major realignment. See, for decades, China was pretty much the undisputed center of gravity for global tech, but that's changing. Companies are now actively pursuing what they call a China Plus One strategy. You've got all these push factors making China less attractive: geopolitical tensions, unpredictable regulations, and at the exact same time, you've got these pull factors drawing them toward India: a stable democracy, a supportive government, and that huge talent pool we just talked about. India is becoming the obvious plus one. So we know why they're investing all this money. But what exactly are they building with these tens of billions of dollars? Well, it all comes down to the most valuable resource of the 21st century. So where does $67 billion actually go? It's not like it's just sitting in a bank somewhere. It's being used to build the actual physical infrastructure of our digital world. It's going into building data centers. So what is a data center? Well, to put it simply, it's a building that's just packed to the gills with servers and all sorts of computing gear. These things are the engines of our digital lives. They power everything, from the video you're watching right now, to your banking app, to the AI models that are changing our world. And this quote just says it all, doesn't it?
If data is the new oil, then data centers are the refineries, the pipelines, and the giant storage tanks, all rolled into one. Whoever controls the data infrastructure, well, they have a huge say in the future of the economy.
Now, this really shows you why this investment is so critical. The US currently has over 5,000 data centers. China has over 400, and India only about 150. That enormous gap. Well, that gap represents a massive, massive opportunity. And this $67 billion wave of investment is all about closing that gap and closing it fast.
So you have this giant influx of cash building out all this critical infrastructure. But what does it all really mean, for the average person in India and for the country as a whole? The potential impact here is huge, and it goes in a few different directions. On one side, you're talking about massive job creation, both direct and indirect. You're talking about upskilling the workforce for the jobs of the future, gaining this crucial thing called data sovereignty, and really cementing India's place in the global AI supply chain. Now, of course, this kind of crazy fast development also brings challenges, like making sure these benefits are spread out fairly and figuring out how to manage the huge energy demands of all these new facilities. And look, these aren't just abstract ideas. Take a look at this number. As part of its investment, Microsoft has specifically promised to train 20 million people in India with AI skills. That's a direct, tangible investment in the country's human capital. And let's talk about that term data sovereignty for a sec. This is a really important idea. By building all these data centers on Indian soil, it means that the data of Indian citizens is stored in India, and it's governed by Indian laws. For national security and digital independence, that is a huge step forward. So what's the big takeaway from all of this? Well, this isn't just a story about dollars and data centers. This is a fundamental shift in the entire global tech landscape, and it leaves all of us with a really critical question. As the very infrastructure of our digital world gets rebuilt, and as the world's data finds a new home, who is going to get to write the rules for the future?